And hello everybody, my name is Niko the Legend, also known as the well-mannered teenager, the snowflake, rambling idiot, and vigil. And I'm here to give you a quick fire impression on how I feel with EIYUDEN Chronicles, which came out recently, real recently, and I have been enjoying it quite much.
You serious?
You know why? You know why? It's because this is the game I've been waiting for so long, especially if you're a Suikoden fan, because this is the spiritual successor to one of the greatest RPG franchises ever made, especially in the JRPG front. Suikoden series is well beloved by many. I don't know if it ever got mainstream popularity. I'm pretty sure it was just more of a cult following, but many people know about this series, and we're super excited about how this was kickstarted. Spiritual successor to Suikoden, EIYUDEN Chronicles, made by Maruyama-san, the guy who recently passed away a couple months ago, which is, I know, depressing. You couldn't even see the game get released in time to see how this game did for him and his company. But his whole family of developers that worked with him on the other Suikoden games, you know, they were with him till the very end. So he may rest in peace. I believe so, because I have been enjoying the heck out of this game, and I thank him and his crew on doing such an amazing job. Now, like I said, this is just going to be a quick Spitfire type impression video. I hope this doesn't go too long. I didn't really do too much research on this too. I'm just going to give you my blanket statements here and just go from there. So if that's what you're into, great. Stay until the video is over, and then you can unsubscribe to me anytime you want. Now, EIYUDEN Chronicles, what makes this game so special? If you just see what's happening behind me on the camera, you kind of get a general idea. I know it's a little bit distracting, but I just wanted to show people that how really intense this game is. And I think the main thing that I really enjoy most with this game is that it's a callback to JRPGs of the olden days, especially from the 90s, because Maruyama-san, you know, the lead developer, creator of Suikoden 1 and 2, this is, to me, the next installment. If he was still working for Konami making Suikoden games after 1 and 2, this would be Suikoden 3 for him. This is how I see it. I get that with him. I could feel that he really had a hand in making this. Well, obviously no shit, but I'm just saying, when you're playing this game, you just feel the heart, love, and dedication that went into this. The graphics, the music, the gameplay, recruiting all the 130 party members, if I read that correctly, which blew my mind. I noticed that. I checked that out after I started playing the game. Arthur! Arthur, stick to the plan! I love how this game, you can recruit so many party members from so many different looks, backgrounds, religious beliefs, and all this, you know, different voice actors and weapons they use. Just everything about them is so vastly different from one character to the next. So Suikoden was all about that too, is recruiting all 100 plus characters if you can. On the first try, it's pretty near impossible unless you use it a walkthrough. But it was so fun to do that because you never knew who you were going to run into next. And the greatest part about it is that this isn't a normal JRPG where you have 3 or 4 people fighting at a time in combat. You have 6.
You serious?
And in EIYUDEN Chronicles, you have 6 people fighting, you have 1 support, and then you have 3 attendants. So there's a lot that can go into this party, and the whole dynamic, how it all comes together, is just amazing. I couldn't even tell you how much of a breath of fresh air this game was to play. Not to brown nose this game so hard or really just, you know, overhype it, but when you play it, you just feel a breath, like I said, a breath of fresh air, because there's no, besides the price tag being a little insane with $50 and then a bullshit season pass type thing, everything else besides that, you're just playing a complete game. So far, I've only played about 20 plus hours into the game, so I still have a long way to go. That's why I say these are my first impressions. I'm a little late on this, but bear with me, you know. You just know. It just clicks with you, you know, when you're playing a video game and it just feels fucking complete. Because this game, when it came out on Kickstarter, was funded instantaneously. It had the main goal was reached, and then it reached all the other goals above it that they were going to add posts if they had the money to do it, like the mini games, more characters, music, physical edition, you name it. Everything was reached so much, and we got to see the fruits of their labor in this game. Like I said, you're playing a game that doesn't try to bullshit you. It just gives you a story about a guy who raises an army to take down villainous, I don't know, dictators up and coming in power, military leaders. You're dealing with betrayal. You're dealing with love stories. You're dealing with friendships. You're dealing with characters that you've never seen before. You meet to join you recruit to join your army, meeting certain conditions to get them on your team, so on and so forth. And you're just exploring this world. Another thing, this game has an overworld, and I'm all over the place. Just bear with me. These are just Spitfire impressions here, like I said. This game has an overworld, which we don't even see overworlds anymore in JRPGs. Not really. Everything is always third person now, or first person, and we never ever get to see what we saw in Final Fantasy games, Legend of Dragoon, the Dragon Quest games back in the day. You name it. Suikoden, for crying out loud. And I'm so glad that this game does it. Albeit it doesn't have anything extensive like an open world RPG where you find literally 8,000 things from point A to point B to your goal. No, this is just an overworld that remember from days past, where you go from just a lot traversing across the land, the plains, or whatever you're at, just to the next town, and you encounter monsters along the way. Oh, there's a fishing spot? Okay, you can go to the fishing spot and fish. Kind of reminds you of like Breath of Fire 1 or 2 or something like that. But you may find dungeons along the way that you want to explore. You may find towns that have no bearing on the story, but you want to explore because this game gives you plenty of opportunity to do that, to go out and explore and see what you find. And let me tell you, every time you go into a different town or dungeon or something, you just know there's going to be someone out there waiting for you to recruit, and you pray that you can do it right away. Of course, when you meet the certain conditions that some of these guys need to be fulfilled in order to recruit them, it's still fun to do. But man, when you really find that one party member or that recruit that you could possibly get, and they have the coolest fucking character design, you want them so bad. And that's like I said, that's what makes Suikoden so special, is recruiting all these party members. There are so many diverse looking characters. There's wolves, there's tree people, there's people living in bags, there's ninjas, there's a kid sitting on a bear, like a Chewbacca bear looking thing, there's kangaroos, there's cats, literally all the type of elves, dwarves, humans, you fucking name it. It has all of that in there. And that's what you get when you recruit all these party members, and then they go into your party. You equip them with weapons, armor, and gear, certain skills, spells, types of runes which you put on there to give them certain magic abilities or skills that they can use in combat. And it's just great. It's a great mix and match. I've only done one conquest battle or one war battle. It was the very first one, so it didn't really have anything in depth yet. But I've heard people talked about that it's very just not so complex, like you're playing a Warhammer game or something, Total War. But I never saw Suikoden games war stuff being too complicated and too complex to begin with. It was just it was pretty easy going, which I'm okay with. I love the voice acting in this game. Can we please give a round of applause to the people who voice acted in this game? There are so many voice actors in this game. For every person you recruit, those party members you can recruit, 130, if I got that number right, don't sue me, they all have voice actors for them. And that's just listing the people you can recruit. I'm not even listing the side characters, the villains, the regular NPCs. Sure, their voices kind of repeat. You hear a lot of Todd Haberkorn in this game, but hey, Todd Haberkorn is one of my favorite voice actors for anime, so I'm not complaining. It's great that he's in this, and plus the hundreds I don't even know, that voice this game. Fantastic job. And it just fits so well with the aesthetics of the game, with the 2.5D backgrounds and then 3D backgrounds and 2D sprites that they come to life. It looks so good. And you're thinking to yourself, this is what the next Suikoden, if Suikoden 6 we'll call it, would look like if it went back to the old school style of Suikoden games. So that's why I say they nail it. And like I said, the soundtrack is spectacular. I know, I'm brown-nosing the shit out of this game. I'm being the teacher's pet of all time. But this is how I feel so far with the game, my impressions. I know I've read reviews that people have issues with certain archaic gameplay elements that the game has because, you don't have that many MP potions, so you gotta treat your MP carefully and how you choose it. So far, it hasn't been an issue. I haven't used too much MP potions and stuff. Maybe just like half a dozen, maybe. But you still find plenty along the way. And I know how these games operate. I grew up playing these old school JRPGs from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, you know, on and on. So I know how to handle it, especially Suikoden games. They were pretty much the same. You can't save. Another complaint is that you can't save out in the overworld. You know, when you're running around, you have to save at inns or in particular spots that you find save points along the way. It's not like Final Fantasy where in the overworld and you can save at any time or summon a Moogle like you could in Final Fantasy 9. No, this is how it was. It's fine. It's okay. It's not a big deal. It hasn't been an issue for me yet. It was never an issue with me on the Suikoden games. And if I missed something where you could save in the overworld, I don't believe you can. It was not a problem. Okay. Another cool thing about this game, we'll wrap it up here pretty soon. Another cool thing is the city building, the headquarter building, we'll call it. So every Suikoden game, from Suikoden 1 to 5, you get headquarters where it's your stronghold. It's where everybody hangs out at. Everybody's got the people you recruit help create the army, and they live there. And everybody goes on with their daily lives. You can recruit chefs, you can recruit singers, recruit theater people, you know, lumberjacks, hunters, you name it. And it's in this game as well. And the cool thing about it, when you're upgrading your town, you pick certain glyphs you see on this little map screen. And it's like, do you have the right materials? Do you have enough funds? Do you have the certain party member that you need to have in this particular spot? Let's say you need a lumberjack to get more lumber, you know, need more lumber. And if you don't have that party member, you can't do it. So you got to find that person out there and go do it. But it's pretty fun so far. Like I said, it's easygoing mechanics. I don't need this shit to be so fucking complicated where I'm scratching my head. That's saved for other genres that are specifically designed for that, like the Civilization games or something, or the Sims games where it's all life sim stuff, or Crusader Kings, or Bannerlord. It doesn't matter. This game, Suikoden game, was never about being super complicated. You know, I think what I'm trying to say is that it's easy to pick up. But then, you know, as you dig deeper into it, it may get a little complex, but it's not to where you just want to just blow your brains out. It's just been fun all the way through, okay? So I think that's good when you have a fun gameplay loop that doesn't make you blow your brains out. And it's pretty easy to get those materials too that you need for the prerequisites to build these certain things attached to your headquarters to make it look, to spruce it up. You know, I kind of treat it like an RTS. I need these materials to get this. I need this many soldiers to do that. I need food production. I need this and that. But it may sound like a mouthful, but it's really not. And like I said, finding those materials on your adventure is pretty simple, because you just find them as you're traversing through the levels, and then eventually you can build stuff that gets those materials super easily, so you don't have to go out and about so much. And you get paid for it. What could I say? It's a great time. I just hang out in the hot springs in this game. So, bottom line so far, with my Spitfire impressions so far, I don't like using that coin term, but I'm doing it. I'm having a great time with it. And I think many of you other people are also having a great time. Listen, we can't just keep expecting these AAA fucking games where it's got this amazing, like, Call of Duty budget type shit. Or, I don't know. I don't even know how to really describe it, but people just need to maybe just relax a little bit and just enjoy what used to be the greats back in the day when we grew up playing these old school JRPGs or just role-playing games in general. They were just straightforward. They weren't trying to bullshit you. They just gave everything you need to have a good time. Fun gameplay, fun story, characters, great graphics, or whatever you want to call it. Just simple. It was simple everything, but at the same time, there was so much underneath that glacier. It was such a huge glacier effect. It was crazy. So, I hope I nailed some things to help you guys out. I don't know if this video will really even get the light of day, but if it does, great. Let me know what you think about EIYUDEN Chronicles down below. You already know how I feel. So far, it's been a great time. And we'll see. Maybe I'll do a more calculated review by the time I'm done with this whole game. It's going to be a long one, which I'm super excited for, because every time I go back into this game, I want to keep finding the next party member. I want to keep finding the next story beat. Because like I said, if you know how great Suikoden games are with their political tensions and war stuff going on, and how the story plays out in those games, it's just heart-wrenching. this game does a good job for it with it so far, with 20 plus hours into it. Now, I don't know how it is 100 plus hours. I don't want to read those videos or see those videos because of spoilers, but this is what I know so far. So, for everybody who has helped me along the way on, gathering this knowledge from other YouTube videos that have played first impressions like I have, I appreciate it. So, with that said, folks, thanks for stopping by. I've been your host, NikoTheLegend. I hope to see you again, Pathfinders, and let me know what you think about EIYUDEN Chronicles. I think Mariyama-san did this series justice. Thank you.